Hey everybody! I'm here today to talk to you about the top 8 worst things that you can do in a manual car. In this video, I'll be going over 8 specific things that you should avoid doing if you're driving a manual car because they're simply not good to do. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Number 1, you should not rest your hand on the gear shifter. Now, I know that it almost feels natural to have one hand on the wheel and one hand on the gear shifter when you're driving a manual car, but you shouldn't do it. Now, the gear shifter is a moving component of a manual car, and it's connected to a variety of linkages and other components that make their way to the transmission and the gear selection and so forth. So with that being said, by resting your hand on the shifter, you're putting weight on those moving components, and that's simply not good for it. It's going to likely decrease the life of that gear shifter and those components. So just try and keep 2 hands on the wheel, shift gears, and then bring your other hand back on the wheel again. Moving forward, number 2, you should not rest your foot on the clutch pedal. Now, you shouldn't rest your foot on the clutch pedal. Some people get into a bad habit when they learn to drive a manual car of resting their foot on the clutch pedal. Now, your clutch pedal should be in one of 2 positions. It's either going to be engaged or disengaged. It's going to be fully pressed down or fully released. You don't want to really play with it in between that. And by resting your foot on the clutch pedal, you're sort of pushing it down ever so slightly, which is going to affect the wear and tear of various components of the car. So just rest your foot to the side of the clutch pedal. Number 3, you should not shift without the clutch. Now, I know it's like a little trick for driving a manual car. You know, you can show people that you can shift without the clutch. It's something that you can be proud of if you know how to do it, and it's actually really easy to do. But the simple fact of the matter is that it's more likely to cause some early wear and tear on the various components of the car. So just, the clutch is there for a reason. Use the clutch when you have to shift. It's as simple as that. Drive manual in the right way and just use the clutch whenever you have to shift. It's as simple as that. Number 4, you should not floor the gas pedal in the wrong gear. Now, every gear is designed for a specific speed range with a certain purpose in mind. Now, with that being said, lower gears are going to give you more acceleration, but a lower top speed. Higher gears are going to give you worse acceleration, but a higher top speed. So lower gears give you more acceleration, lower top speed. Higher gears give you not so good acceleration, higher top speed. It's as simple as that. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you're in the right gear. So if you're in 4th gear and your engine is revving at like 1500 RPM, do not floor the gas pedal. Instead, shift to 3rd gear, and then you can accelerate, because you don't want to bog down your car by flooring the gas pedal at a very low RPM. Number 5, you should not over rev the engine. Now, in an automatic car, when you simply floor the gas pedal, the gear selector is going to just keep shifting gears for you. The automatic transmission is going to keep shifting gears for you. In a manual car, on the other hand, you have to shift the gears. So what you shouldn't do is you shouldn't floor the gas pedal and over rev the engine. You don't want to rev the engine past the point of shifting gears. You don't want to rev the engine past the red line. The red line is there for a reason. It's to tell you, you need to shift now, okay, at the latest. So don't over rev the engine. Number 6, you should not shift into the wrong gear. Now, this is especially important when you are trying to upshift, but you end up downshifting instead. It can cause some serious damage, and you will be most likely in need of some serious repairs. Let's say you're driving in 3rd gear and you want to shift to 4th gear. Do not shift to 2nd gear instead. Make sure you don't shift into the wrong gear, because it can be quite pricey for repairs, and it can really increase the rate of wear and tear on the car and its components. Number 7, do not use the parking brake. So make sure that you use the parking brake. That's number 7. Do not avoid using the parking brake. The parking brake is there for a reason, okay? Even if you're parking on a flat surface and you're leaving your car in gear, when you get out of it, engage the parking gear. It's going to make sure that first and foremost, there's no pressure on the components of the car that are holding it in place when you leave it in gear. And it's also going to make sure that if those components fail or there's too much pressure on them, that the car doesn't simply roll away. For safety, make sure that you use the parking brake. Last but not least, number 8, do not release the clutch rapidly in first gear. Some people do this. It's commonly called popping the clutch in an attempt to actually, get the wheels to spin or get the car to accelerate quickly or to launch the car. It's not good for wear and tear on the car. It's just not good for your car. When you're in first gear and you're starting to drive, you should be releasing the clutch at a decently gradual rate. You shouldn't be burning the clutch, but you should be releasing it at a decent pace and a decent speed. Don't rev the engine and pop the clutch. It's just not good for your car. It's as simple as that. You're revving the engine and then all of a sudden you're sending this massive amount of torque from a revving engine to the wheels, and that's why they spin. Okay? And yes, to some people they might do it because they want to look cool, but it's just not good. Okay? If you're driving on the street in a regular situation, do not do that. It's just not good for your car. If you want your car to last you a long time, it's not a good idea to do that. And that's basically it. In this video, I've gone over the top 8 worst things you can do in a manual car. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.